Hi, this is Raj from MR Sportscars. In this video I'm going to be driving this beautiful Carmine Red Macan GTS. It's a 95B pre-facelift 2018 model year Macan GTS. The Carmine Red was a special order colour and it does really make this look striking with the sport design body kit, which has also got the high gloss black accents. Really does stick out, really looks very special, especially with the Sport Classic wheels as well, 21-inch wheels with 5 spokes, diamond cut edge and gloss black spokes. Inside it's got, like all GTSs, as a standard interior option, it has the Alcantara sort of middle seat bits of the seats and then leather all the rest of the seats. It's got leather extended across the dashboard and across the Alcantara across the door pulls as well. The stitching you could spec in a number of different colours, including red, rhodium silver and black. This has got black, and as a result it has the black stitched GTS rather than silver or reds to match the rest of the stitching on the dashboard, the doors and the seats. I mean, it's really fantastic elevated position you find yourself when you're driving a Macan. They do feel sort of king of the road, nice and high, but at the same time the seating position is absolutely perfect as well, so you don't feel that you're sitting on top of the car sort of driving a bus. It feels very much like a hot hatch in how it's set up from a point of view of the driver. Now I'm just taking the back route to my unit, which is heading back from Renworks Porsche Care, who have just arranged an MOT for this car. This car is already sold. It's just covered 33,900 miles and it's still got Porsche main dealer warranty. But there's this lovely road between us and Porsche Care, which is the road from Codicott to Hitchin, and it's a fantastic road to go and take a car out. Nice 60 mile an hour speed limit and normally relatively quiet as well, unless you're heading in rush hour. But going back to GTSs, the GTSs are very special because they've got the 3-litre V6 twin turbo in this era, so the 95B, not the 95B.2. Produces 360 horsepower, 369 foot-pound of torque, and it will do 60 with sport chrono and everything in 4.8 seconds. Absolutely sensational performance for approaching a 1.9 to 2 ton SUV, sport utility vehicle. They all come with the 7-speed PDK, which is a phenomenal box because it just works so well in all conditions, whether you're on a spirited drive or stuck in traffic on the motorway or something. Effortless, but at the same time also engaging as well. The steering wheels that these come with have full-size paddles, down a gear on one side, up a gear on the other, so there's no sort of confusion with sort of rocker switches that some 997s and things had in the past. These steering wheels are absolutely perfect for driving in a sporty way. And it also has the top of the range PASM air suspension. So there was 3 grades of suspension. There was just normal suspension, coiled suspension, then there was PASM coiled suspension, or normal dampers, and then there was this air suspension kit which also stiffens and slackens. And you've got 3 options, so comfort, sport and sport plus. Most people run these in sport because it gives you still a lot of ride composure, but it's still then also is a bit more sporty. It doesn't roll as much. In the full comfort mode, it does make the car quite wallowy. So a lot of people, whether it's the PASM normal like coil suspension or if it's the PASM air suspension, sport seems to be the sweet spot, especially in the UK here, for driving this car. And I do find actually the only thing I struggle with Macans is the width. I've just come across someone now on a very narrow bit, and you do feel slightly vulnerable in such a wide vehicle because you can't squeeze up to the hedges very easily unless you know the exact dimensions, and still give people enough space to get by. So that is one thing to note, is these are big vehicles compared to if you're used to a 911 or a Cayman or a Boxster. They feel quite big, but at the same time they are that raised position. They do feel incredibly safe. You feel cocooned. This car's got, interestingly, the insulated glass, which I haven't come across before on any other car we've stocked. And basically it's two panes of glass that are fused together, and what that does is that gives you insulation not just from extra road noise, but also from heat. So it's supposed to stay much more cocooned from temperature changes outside. Also helps to insulate the cabin from direct sunshine as well. It has got the privacy glass option as well on the rear three windows, which also helps keep the temperatures down. It's got the pano roof, which again is a fantastic option. Just opening it now, because even at speed you don't get buffeting, because it's got a big wind deflector at the front of it to sort of divert air away to stop it from flapping in and out of the cabin. Now we're at my favourite bit of road in an awesome Porsche travelling machine. Really love how these Macans feel behind the wheel, especially the 3-litre petrols. All of them are actually very special. The S model, the GTS, and obviously then you've got the flagship model. In this era it was a 3.6 turbo. In the 0.2s it was a 2.9 V6 twin turbo, found in the RS4 and RS5 of the era, so with 440 horsepower, which I've just learned can be massively tuned with just a remap. So DMS, I think, are offering a remap, and it will take it from 440 to 560 horsepower or something like that, which is insane. So that car as standard will accelerate to 16 4.4 versus this 4.8, but that's just bonkers. Just shows you the underlying performance and capability of these vehicles. The brake setups are really good on these, perfectly adequate, nice big discs and pads, ventilated, and you never struggle for braking with these cars. I've already talked about the suspension. This has got the optional sports exhaust, which again sounds phenomenal, really good. Makes such a nice cackle and pop when you start it up. Sounds really deep and soulful. And it's also got the Sport Chrono Package Plus, so it has Sport and Sport Plus, which change the throttle behavior, make it more aggressive and sensitive to how you use the throttle, but also it changes the gear shift profile as well. So in Sport Plus it's its most aggressive, fastest changes, holds gears for longer. You can also at any point with the PDK slide it into full manual mode, so then you're in control, and you can either use the paddles on the steering wheel, or you can use the stick itself backwards towards you to go down a gear, or away from you to go up a gear, a bit like a sequential race car. I can see why so many people want these Macans as a perfect all-round family slash sports car. I mean, it's a bit of a reach to call it a sports car because of the sheer size of it, but if you haven't got space for both family car and like a Porsche sports car, this is the perfect compromise. I think one of these, a GTS, whether it be this Gen 1 or a Gen 2 depending on budget, I think these are such fantastic value for money, considering that you can get these for second hand, albeit, but for less than the price of a new Golf or a new Focus or any kind of like slightly interesting sports hatchback. You can get one of these for cheaper, and they do run really, really well. The reliability is also pretty good. The only things they really suffer with is if you've got the pano roof, the drains blocking at the rear end of it, and then you get some water ingress through the back of the cabin, potentially running over the amplifier. This has got the Bose amplifier. The only other thing is the transfer boxes, which again, I think people need to start seeing these transfer boxes as a wear and tear item, just like a clutch would be, because it is basically a big device which is controlling and slipping the power between the front and the rear, and you can appreciate that item on a car like this is going to wear out at some point. So they're not a huge disaster. Most specialists will be able to repair it a lot cheaper and put a new one in a lot cheaper than what Porsche would charge you. So I would definitely look at something like that if you were thinking about buying one of these and it had a higher mileage and it was juddering at full lock when you're manoeuvring. It may well need its transfer box soon. But other than that, the timing chain case, the bolts on that can fail, the seals can fail, and they just need replacing. Again, that's something that was covered under warranty on a lot of cars, but if not, most specialists are aware of how to do that repair and can do it relatively cost effectively. That's about it. There's nothing else that really goes wrong. So it's just about making sure you buy a nice example that hasn't been, obviously with it being so big, picked up damage and things from other cars or obstacles or walls or anything and been poorly repaired. Make sure everything's working, like the air conditioning and the turbos are spooling without letting out massive plumes of smoke out the back. I can't see a better car for in the region of 30 to 50k if you can only have one car and it has to be practical at the weekends or on the school run. Now, a lot of people may not realise, but you can get different options in terms of the roof setup. So this car was spec'd with roof rails and actually removable cross rails as well. So you can have bike carriers, you can have roof boxes mounted very easily to the roof. Others were spec'd with a cleaner look without any roof rails, and that's the case in point with our 95B.2 Macan Turbo in crayon. That hasn't got any roof rails, but it has got side steps, whereas this one hasn't got side steps. So it's a bit easier for young kids and stuff to get into the back. They've got a little stainless steel with rubber surface side step to step into. This doesn't have that, so it makes it a bit difficult. All of these things are dealer fit or specialist fit or self fit if you want to change that sort of side. They all come with electric rear tailgates. And then you could spec either the tyre gel or a spare wheel kit. This has got the spare wheel kit, so it's got the 18-inch wheel which you can inflate with the tyre compressor to fit if you get stuck somewhere and you need to get off the road. So there are a lot of options to look out for. Generally though, these are very highly spec'd with all the things you could possibly want: tyre pressure monitoring, lane departure warning. There's even lane departure assist as well. And then you can have things like 360 cameras. So this has got 4 cameras, so under the mirrors, front and rear, so you can see at low speeds exactly how close you are to an obstacle or the curb. So really useful system to have. Our Turbo has all the parking sensors, and then it has a rear facing camera, which again is a perfect addition. But these cars, they defy physics in how they drive, in all honesty. It does feel very much like just a big hot hatch. You feel very comfortable in the seats. All the seat options are very, very comfortable, and I do find that you quickly forget how big and how much mass there is, because it just performs so perfectly, and it makes it feel, driving down the road at speed, so effortless that you just can't believe the statistics of just the weight it's carrying and all of the luxuries it has. It just makes you realise how clever those engineers and also the stylists are at Porsche. God, that was a bit close. Again, that's that size. The one size thing you need to realise is that it isn't the size of an A45 or a Golf GTR. You have to sort of allow for the fact that it's that little bit wider and longer. Parking spaces can be a bit of a struggle. It's not that much smaller than a Cayenne. I think it's aged a lot better, I think, in my opinion. I think Cayennes are looking a little bit dated, the early ones, whereas even the early ones, in the right combinations of wheels and colours, look fantastic. And this has got the largest wheels you could get at the time, which is 21 inches. Still rides really, really well. So don't be worried if you want the big wheels, but you're worried they're going to crash over bumps, because they really don't. They really do drive fantastically. And I'm back. So I hope you found this video useful about talking about Macans in general, and also this GTS. They're fantastic cars, and if you are looking for something in this sector, I would encourage you to at least try one, because they are, I think, the perfect combination of practicality and performance for a family. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.